stopping. It's not slowing down. Like, what do we look? What do we do? It's March already. Good morning, Tiff. How are you doing this morning? You're on mute, Tiff. You're on mute.
Did we lose him? I think.
Am I not here again?
Oh, I thought it was me. Nope.
All right,
Mike,
hold one second. I'm
you're on
coming back.
mute.
Yep. Well, I'm not on mute, but I'm coming right back.
Oh,
I am coming back really quick.
Can you hear us, Mike?
I can. Let me leave.
I think
when he goes to bring people up, it like triggers putting him on mute, or I don't know, something with his microphone.
Y'all know what it is. It's Clubhouse trying to stop me. Am I back now? Look, am I back now? Good morning.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you very much.
Can anybody hear me in Clubhouse land?
Yes, I can hear you, Gerald, but I don't know why it keeps kicking me out. Like, it's literally kicking me out whenever I try to change or add anything in the controls down here. In any event, it doesn't matter. I'm here. As long as you guys can hear me now, I will switch myself back in and out. Good morning, Mr. Moore. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. In Rochester, it's rainy.
You're loving the rock. I didn't hear you, Gerald. Come on back.
I said I'm alive and well in the rock, kicking it.
Good stuff, sir.
Getting ready to get out of here.
When are you leaving?
Probably leave late this evening.
Late this evening, man. You look, Amit. He's in Rochester as much as you are right now.
Yeah, I know. He's going to have to start paying some New York State taxes pretty soon.
Right, that is true. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Tiff, go ahead, Gerald. I'm sorry.
Come in the city and meet with the players, man. I got to meet with the players.
That's it. Got to kiss the babies and shake the hands and do all that. I get it.
Absolutely. 100%. And Tiffany, I apologize. I was talking to you and you couldn't hear me. How's everything been going your way?
No worries. Everything's good.
So I saw your big announcement the last day or two. So give us I'll wait till we do wins of the week so you can give us some insights that your community is live, and I'm excited about that. And you guys, I'm going to take myself out really quick. Gerald, just talk for a couple seconds so I can come back in with some moderator function. So talk for a couple seconds. Let me leave quietly and come back so I can moderate.
He knows when he disappeared, the show could just go off the rails. So he is back now.
Well, you know what, Gerald, make me a moderator. I'm not. I can't make myself a moderator.
So Tiff or me or Lisa gonna have to make us both moderators because we're both not.
Right.
So it's been a takeover. It's been.
Thank you.
There you go. Somebody got you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you very much, folks. I appreciate you. So in any event, Clubhouse is trying to stop the momentum over here, but we're not just on Clubhouse. We're also on LinkedIn Live. We're on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube Live, and we're on X Live. So happy to have you guys with us again. Good morning and welcome to Nonprofit Cheat Codes. Let's kick it off properly, you guys. I'm doing it backwards here. It's Saturday morning. Do you know where your funders are?
People want to see that they're part of it. Just want to thank you all because, I feel as though that you all was placed in my life for a reason.
Still step up and be the winner of the week. Let's go.
Nonprofit Cheat Codes with your nonprofit dream team featuring Tiffany Allen, Amit Dakar, Gerald Moore, Lisa Tinsley, and your host, Makil Shaw. Nonprofit Cheat Codes.
Chico.
I was going to be quiet.
It's Saturday morning. Do you know where your funders are? Let's go.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Haha, Clubhouse, you can't stop me. I'm coming back. I won't quit. Good morning, you guys. It is Saturday, March 2nd, 2024, and you are in the Nonprofit Cheat Code space. happy to have you guys with us as always. I had to put on some theme music to let you know I can do what I'm going to do. So Clubhouse can't stop my greatness this morning. We are coming in from Atlanta. We're coming from Rochester, New York. We're coming from Maryland. And Jessica, what area of New York are you there? I'm going to give you some credit here. So what area? Outside?
Well, I'll say upstate.
Upstate.
Upstate, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll claim you're upstate, and we'll take all that in there. You guys, I'm happy to have you with us this morning. Let's jump right into our wins of the week.
Winning, 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 winning. You from the trenches, you living, you winning.
Lisa's, kick us off with your wins of the week. I know you got some wins down there in hot Atlanta. I don't know if it's hot today, but I'm gonna claim it.
Okay, yes. So this week I was able to confirm 2 in-person events scheduled for May and June that will be used as fundraisers. So we're going to start going out to locally owned coffee shops and small businesses and doing live podcast recordings from them and using them as fundraisers. So excited about that.
Good stuff. Big up. Good stuff. Happy to hear it.
Super dope.
Absolutely. Amit, give us your wins of the week, sir, as we go around the room.
Well, so I got 2. One is, well, we weren't here last week, so I just want to say I had a great time on Tiffany's program 2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
2 Sundays ago.
Good
We
stuff.
talked about donor advised funds and just the various other financial topics. And so I just want to say I had a blast. Great group of people. Tiffany puts on a nice program, and just the way it kind of flows, kind of cool. So I just that's definitely a win of the week. That was 2 weeks ago, but
Good
it was
stuff.
definitely one of the week. And this week, so I think I was referred to join another organization this week. Join their board. Still thinking about it. I won't say that, but it was nice to meet with the CEO and meet with some people at the organization, and it just goes to show, we talk about that all the time in this room, being part of the community and doing the board stuff. It's nice to see what other people are doing, see what's happening in the community, good stuff. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do because I also want to be fair to my time. You know what I mean? I got to sort of balance it out with my work and personal goals I have and things of that nature. So I'm not sure. So whether I'm actually going to do it this year, maybe next year, but it's nice to be thought about, right? And it's nice to have those meetings, and let's see how we go. And obviously there will be some financial support as well. But let's see what it is. But it's always nice. You do truly, when you do, when you do join an organization, which I'm sure many people in the room do. I don't want to get into the political. I don't want to get into organizations where it's too political or it's too this or too that.
Right.
This seems to be a pretty cool place, but you always get more back than you get, and I think that's the case. So I'll let you guys know what I'm going to do. But it was nice to learn more about a new organization.
Well, we appreciate it. I know a lot of people want you for their board, so this is just one of many, I'm sure. So moving on, Tiffany, what are our wins of the week?
Yeah, so I agree with Amit. It was a win to have him on my YouTube live channel, my live show on Sunday night. We talked about donor advised funds and talked about the community foundation and all that. It was really good conversation. And I referred a lot of people back to it because the topics kept coming back after we did that live. So I'm just really happy for that. And we're planning some other videos too. And my big win is, thank you, Amit. My big win is I launched my membership community. I've done a couple versions of this, but I really am happy about how I designed this one in particular. And the doors are open. They're only open for 2 weeks. So if you need support with raising money, that's all we're focused on. And it's going to be laser focused so people can have the time to do what they need to do. Because I've found that a lot of founders just are juggling too much. But if you don't focus on raising money, then everything else kind of falls to the wayside. So if you would like to join and you need a supportive group of founders, go ahead and click the link. I'm dropping it in the chat for you guys to sign up.
And tell somebody to tell somebody on the same note. We got to make people spread the word. So good stuff. Go ahead, Joe.
So Tiff, I got a question from Amit on the show. Did Amit get any secret admirers in your inbox.
If he did, I wouldn't put it out here.
Wow.
So need you to forward them to me so
That
I
ain't
can
for everybody to know.
Wow.
I need to broker the deal.
Wow.
Business on Sunday nights.
Exactly.
Me and Gerald gonna put you all the way out there, bro. Look, what if that was supposed to
What
be
kind
a
of community
No,
did
I'm
you
just
launch
saying.
there?
No, I'm just saying because you know they wild out there, meat. They wild out there.
Oh boy.
So
oh boy. All right, you know.
sometimes I have to tell you, I'll get on these podcasts and I'll be getting these inboxes that I have to immediately hit delete.
Oh my God.
Well,
boy.
let's first
it out.
say that that's exclusively Gerald. That's not the rest of us. That's Gerald's inbox. So Tiffany, congratulations on your group launch first and foremost, and definitely keep us in tune of it. You guys literally, and I know sometimes we don't always do this, we really do have to get more aggressive or forward thinking about sharing, because sometimes we just need that push, and so you don't know who you may activate in your list or your circle of influence by sharing some stuff. So we appreciate that. And Gerald, when's the week?
Wins of the week, man. Stepping back to last week, so we launched our first Technology to Manhood Lecture Series DC. It went good.
Good stuff.
Tons of media and visuals. So if y'all follow me at all, y'all see I've been posting crazy from the Technology to Manhood Lecture Series. ABC 7 came out. They actually aired some clips on that Thursday night, Friday night. And then I booked the Technology to Manhood Lecture Series for the rest of the year. So every third Thursday of the month, we will have the Technology to Manhood Lecture Series at our building in 609 8th Street, Northeast DC.
Awesome.
It's going live. I'm here in Rochester. I did a professional development, social emotional learning, professional development for out of school time programming with the with an organization called GRASA, which stands for Greater Rochester something of school time, after school something, right? It was a great professional development. I actually met with the ED of the organization, and she was like, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm with Mission Fulfilled." And she said, "Your Mission Fulfilled. There's a lot of talk about Mission Fulfilled." And I was like, "And you know what else you said next? Nice blazer."
Oh my God.
The blazer.
Oh, there you go. That's it.
Telling you.
So it was to your face and not an inbox.
So
Okay.
I was gonna say, Jessica. So it wasn't an inbox on that one, Gerald.
Listen, the photo gonna be on LinkedIn. The photo gonna be on LinkedIn.
Wow.
The photo gonna be on LinkedIn.
Shameless.
The photo is going to be on LinkedIn.
Wow. Well,
Right.
any other wins of the week? I gotta give you a full time because I think I got chastised last time. So let me let you get your 10 minutes. Go ahead.
So that's it. I told you about the art grant. I think I told you about the art grant. And I told you about I had got another $10,000 grant from this company called Fox Company. Fox something.
Yep.
Yes, got that. ESL Charitable Foundation has connected me with an organization called Resilia. Tiffany could tell you about Resilia, but actually what Resilia is going to help me to do is put my nonprofit business structure in order. So I get one-on-one coaching for a year.
Awesome.
So that's going to be super dope.
Good stuff. The room is on fire. So taking the baton. Last week was a busy week. We weren't here last week. It was on me, as usual. Last week I had 3 speaking engagements, and I've been really trying to grow and really build my speaking platform. And then I had a headshot demo where I did headshots for one of the clubs that I'm a member of locally. And why that's a big deal is because it's nothing like the one-on-one networking you get when you can kind of work the room individually. So it's good working the room as you walk around big rooms, but it's something special. And maybe I'm a little not jealous, but a little envious of what the space, not envious, but I'm really appreciative of the space you get when you do the one-on-one. Photography allows you, and this is what I love about doing headshots and portraiture, you can establish a rapport and really talk to people and connect on a different level. And that's one of the things I like most about what I do as far as photography. Obviously, we are in a society that every single phone has a camera on it. And I know you guys probably take that for granted because it's just the norm. But and I'm sure many of you can remember a time where everyone didn't have a camera on them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So it kind of, in some ways, makes you it normalizes taking pictures, but it's still nothing like, as I consider it, kind of building poses and establishing that rapport. And then it positions me to be just a recorder. So that was a great experience last week. I had also a workshop I did on inclusion and diversity in marketing. And that's something that, has really grown over the last couple of years for me. I've really niched this space out. Not that it hasn't been there before me, but I really appreciate it. And I'm sure most of you can relate, because I think people take for granted that when we think about branding and marketing, our businesses, our nonprofits, our initiatives, that we should also be considering to make sure that the stuff we put out there is inclusive. And just being a person of color or just being in a protected class does not automatically make your stuff inclusive. And I'll say one thing and I'll move on, but I don't know if you guys have ever seen the ad by Dove, which is of Procter & Gamble, and it talks about before and after, and it gives and I wish I could show it here. I'm not gonna put the link up, just take time, but it shows 3 women, one is African American and 2 are Caucasian, and above them it has before and after, and it implies that the African American woman in this case has the sign above her head that's before, and the Caucasian ladies in this case have the sign that's after. And it gives implications that Dove will clean you. It'll wipe away that brownness that you have. And that may seem kind of lighthearted, but when you are a billion-dollar company like Procter & Gamble, multi-billion-dollar company, you should have teams that reflect diversity, so that when you're putting ads out, someone could easily say, no, that you can't put that out there. And I think that when we think about how you're marketing and how you're putting yourself out there, how you're getting earned media, is something that we should be very conscious of, especially being smaller nonprofits that many times focus on underserved groups. So I won't beat it in the ground and give you a reflection of my presentation, but I will say to you, I do think it's a big deal. I think it's something that I've been focused on, and I've had several companies who have reached out to me saying, listen, we would like to talk about this. We'd like to have a conversation. And then my response is always, are you sure? Because I'm not coming in to scrub it. I'm coming in to give you straight, no chaser. Not in a bad way, but in a real way that I think makes things better. Good morning, Jessica. Give us your wins of the week. You got some wins of the week you want to share?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Yes, I was surprised with a kickback to a podcast I did a couple years ago, getting reshared on LinkedIn. So that sparked a bunch of new visibility for it, which is really great. And then I did a college try last month of an event geared towards funding solutions for nonprofits, and we decided to keep going with it. So we just kicked off I met in January, we kicked it off, and now it's a monthly thing. So we just hosted our second one, and we're ironing out all the kinks to make it successful and value add for people. So thank you for the engagement with the post and everything, even if you couldn't make it. It's cool to see it coming together.
Good stuff. Congratulations. And with so many things and so many different ways that people are being pulled, I think it's important to not let, even sometimes when we get small showing, is to not get discouraged, not to let it discourage you, my apologies, from pushing through. So I'm glad that you're consistent, and I'm glad you're still at it, because if you build it, they will come. People will follow up. People see consistency. Good morning, Tiffany Jones. How are you doing this morning?
I am amazing, Michael. Thank you, and everyone. Good to be here.
Absolutely. I'm glad to hear that. And what's going on with your week this week? Welcome to Nonprofit Cheat Codes.
Thank you. Yeah. So I have a couple wins. The first win was that I had partnered with a local hockey team. So this is my first year as a 501c3.
Okay.
And I'm learning, I'm growing, right? I'm doing all these little things. And so I went and partnered with this hockey team. I'm in Maine, and I was really excited about it, and it fell flat.
Oh, no.
No one bought tickets.
Oh, no.
And the event didn't go through. And they said, we need you to sell tickets. I was going to get concession sales. I was so excited about it. But, what happened for me was it was an opportunity to share with people that, not everything we try is 100%. Not everything
Absolutely.
we try is going to work, but we have to keep trying, right? And we just have to keep failing forward. And so I kind of really use that as momentum to continue to move forward. And so what happened, this last week was that auction, April 27th. And so I've been focused on gathering sponsors and gathering items, and I got a ton of things that kind of came through all together this week. Great items, great donations, and then I even got my first check from PayPal. Because I am a registered 501c3, people can choose to sponsor, right? Like they can choose to sponsor my 501c3, and they did. And I got this check from PayPal for $180 this week.
Awesome.
That, it's awesome. And so I'm just going to continue to forward march. And I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for this group. You guys, have been a really helpful tool that I have used, and I follow all of you, and I'm grateful for all of your lessons that you have shown and my inspiration. So I'm here plugging away. Thanks.
Well, Tiffany, we appreciate it. Thank you for your kind words as well. I wanted to ask you, what was the game changer? So you had this event, and it's a great segue because this week, our theme or our topic for today is, what if it doesn't work? Basically, what if it's not working? And you just literally you were perfect in the segue of it's not working. We all go through moments where we feel like it's not working. The hard work, the time spent, the strategies we're using, for whatever good or bad reason, it's not working. And I want to ask you really fast, what was the game changer? What was the pivot when you had this event and it basically felt like a flop? What was the game changer for you? Or what did you do?
So the game changer for me was really acknowledging it, and not trying to pretend it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I think and in the past I would have stayed quiet about it and not told people about it, and I would have just kind of internalized it. And instead, I flipped that on its lid and I put it out because I know you're right. I know I'm not the only one that things happen and don't go 100%. So let's start sharing that more, normalizing that.
Absolutely.
And I really wanted to, connect with other people on that level of real life. Here we are. We're real people. We're doing real things. This is real life, and I think that was really effective.
And I think the ideal that, and I appreciate your point, number one, and thank you very much for your share. But the ideal that I think every single one of us had, well, not, of course, every single one of us, maybe some more than not, or maybe some more vocal than not. We have something that you planned a certain way and it doesn't work the way you planned. And it feels like, you know what? The hell with this. I mean, just call it what it is. The hell with this. I'm tired. I've had it happen. The first, just being completely transparent for my journey, the last 3 months or 2 months, I say 3 months, have been kind of rough. It's like a lot of things I planned didn't materialize at the level I shot for. But on the same note, they were unexpected. Life happens. You hear me say often, life happens. So we had a death in our family. We had some unexpected financial blows that took place. And I mention them because I think we all go through these things, but it's not the thing you go through, it's how you handle it. And I love what you said there, Tiffany. The first thing you did was to acknowledge and assess the situation. And it doesn't matter what it looks like. Jessica spoke of maybe not getting some of the turnout that she was pushing for in her first event. I'm going to go to Tiffany Allen. Tiff, have you, I know you have, but can you give us an example of something not working that you've tried, and you got a lot of different tools and a lot of experiences? Can you give us, if you're willing to, an example of a recent thing that just did not go your way?
So I can share about my failures, and I'm actually going to put a reel out on this because I recorded it already.
Oh, wow.
But I'll just say the last 3 months have been a hot mess.
I'm not alone.
It feels like it's happening for a lot of people. I've talked to another founder who's been following me for years, and she's struggling too, because it's just how it is. Sometimes, like, everything has blown up in my personal life. A lot of things going on in my family. A lot of things I can't control, and just have to deal with it and have to sit with it. And so that has made things kind of rough. But for this community, this is not the first time I've tried a community. So I did something in 2018 where I had a small group of founders, and it was like an accountability group. And we worked together, and it just kind of fizzled out. Then I did another one in 2021, and it was a good experience, but it didn't grow. And it just wasn't working for me. Like, it was too overwhelming for people. It was a lot of information. I was providing a lot of value, and I felt like it just didn't bring me joy. I didn't enjoy doing it. I enjoyed the people, but I didn't enjoy the process of doing the work. But now I've relaunched a community, renamed it, and streamlined it, and made it very focused and purposeful, because I feel like I know my community better. But I feel like if I hadn't done the first 2 iterations, then I wouldn't be here. So I'm actually grateful for what some people will see as a failure, or what some people see me like just keep doing stuff and changing stuff up. I don't see it as that. I see it as data. I see it as information. I see it as me refining the process so I can really get to what my community needs, but also what I need. Because if I'm not happy and I'm not fulfilled, it shows through in how I teach and how I show up. And I want to be the best person I can for my audience. And so I've designed it in a way that's good for me and good for my people. So I'm excited about that. Like, I have learned through failure. I've learned to fail up. I have learned to stumble through. I have learned that everything is not always going to feel 100%. I have big Virgo energy, so everything has to be perfect. But I've learned that I can still be good. I can still be satisfied, and it's not 100%. And so that's just my little story.
And I appreciate literally your transparency, and just to hear you even be honest with you. Now, this is another point. To hear you say the last 3 months have been a thing for you, right? Like, sometimes we're going through and you're like, it's no way in hell. I'm just being real with you. I so appreciate all of you guys in our team here. And like, sometimes I'll be like, I know they're not coming back next week. Like, literally, I have that imposter syndrome sometimes, because I feel like no one's going through the hell that I might be dealing with this week or this month. And Lisa, have you had experiences recently, or not recently, that have made you feel like this ain't working? Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but somehow it's just not panning out.
Yes, actually, I went through that during December and January. And so I just took the time out to take a break, and just kind of step back from the work. And then toward the end of January, I sat down and just really wrote out, where do I see myself 1 year from now, and what needs to be done in order to achieve those goals. And just took that quiet time to make a plan. And I can say within the last 2 weeks, I've seen things happening, like going full speed ahead, based on how I kind of restructured and just simplified my systems and certain events I want to do. And so now everything is like back in motion. And so, yes, I've been through that too, like starting back in December of last year.
and again, I appreciate the transparency because I promise you, like I'm not the oldest. I'm gonna say I'm definitely not the oldest because we got a meeting Gerald up in here.
Oh, come on. Come on.
But I promise you, I've failed enough for all of you to be billionaires. I am a miraculous failure, but I will not stop. I mean, I get take my licks. Sometimes I lick my wounds a little longer than I should, but I am resilient. Gerald, give us an example of you experiencing that and something not working. And I think let me preference this, which I don't need to, but I'm going to. I think because of your resilience and your character or how you come off, that sometimes it's perceived that it's all working out. It's all perfect, and I think it is not. And, it's not to get into assuming, but it's not that it's perfect. It's because of how you choose to address it.
To be quite honest, bro, it's all bad. But if I don't feel good about it being all bad, then it ain't gonna never get you. So I'm gonna be out here testing and failing every day. Dude, I'm testing stuff. I'm throwing stuff out the wall, on the wall. People telling me no every day.
Every day.
Every day. If I don't have somebody tell me no every day, then I ain't going hard enough.
But the thing, and I didn't mean to I just got to interject 1 second. But that's the thing. How do you? And I want you to talk about it for a second. I'll say as a man. So I'm gonna say sexist as this may sound. As a guy, we have very frail egos sometimes, and getting told no can make you, it's almost like the lion's paw in the thorn. You can be afraid to reach back out there. How do you deal with that? Getting rejected and still standing back up. Getting rejected and still standing back up. How does it work for you?
What's your saying? What's your saying? And you know what I'm talking about. What's your saying?
Right. You mean what?
It's not about me.
Oh, no, it's not about.
I
didn't get what you were saying. I thought you said, what's my vein? Yeah, no, it's not all about me. Absolutely. It's not about.
It's not about me. Right. So in relation to the nonprofit, that's not about me. So I could take failure there all day. Everybody has family issues. I always got stuff going on in my family. My family is lovingly dysfunctional. Like I have a lovingly dysfunctional
Hold on,
family.
G, because that
all the way around.
That's a cheat code. Really?
My family is lovingly dysfunctional, and it's a huge family. So, again, I don't know if I probably mentioned this before, but my father is in the middle of 13 children. My mother was the oldest of 9. Like, I got unlimited first cousins. I don't even know what the number is, but it's unlimited first cousins. And a couple weeks ago, one of my first cousin's husband died. Like it's stuff is always happening just because I have a huge family, right? So things are always going down. Another aunt is struggling with cancer. It's stuff that is happening all the time. But I get up in the morning and I meditate and I take the time for myself. I do a lot of self-care. Like y'all done caught me in the petty spa a couple times on the show.
Getting the toesies right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm here at the gym, but life's gonna keep lifing.
Right.
Life's gonna keep lifing. So you have to be able to adjust to the ups and downs and lefts and rights and understand that life is going to keep lifing. So we have to take these, roll with the punches. And, I'm just one to just never take anything too personal.
Right.
I got a lot to give. I got a lot to offer. I got a lot of life to live. I at least got about 70 years left. So,
well, Gerald, I want to touch on your point of saying not taking it personal. I've talked to my wife about that the last few months. I've talked to several people about that. Every major book, kind of self-help book that I've been reviewing the last or reading or listening to the last 3 or 4 months all say that. They all lead with that. Stop taking everything personal. And that can be a crippler. That can almost feel impossible to not take things personal when people are attacking you or when people are trying to short you somehow, or when people are intentionally trying to distract you from your goals. How do you do that? I mean, literally, you personally, how do you not take it personal when you know it feels like it's coming at you very personally? Gerald?
Is that a direct question for me?
That's a direct question for you, because that's not easy for most of us.
So I always look at things as who has control of my life. I am the only person that has control of my life, right? Nobody can directly control my life but me.
Period.
If I'm asking for something that I need and you say no, well, then it's just no. But I am still the only person in direct control of my life. And it's not it's not about what happens to me, it's how I respond to it.
Absolutely.
Right? So as long as my response is one that works with who I am as a person and allows me to maintain a level of sanity, and I'm pretty insane, is to allow me the amount of sanity that I need to function daily and be even, right? If I come out even every day, I take some L's, I'm up, I'm down, like there's always this oscillation of emotion and how I'm feeling at any given time. But as long as it comes out even, I'm good.
Good stuff. And I think that part there, and I say about taking it personal because I think it almost feels like impossible. It's not that it's not personal, but you can't take it. You can't consume it. You can't, it's not for you, in other words. And I'm not saying that the most eloquent way, but it's not that sometimes the things coming at you are not personal, but you can't embrace it that way. You can't let it shake you. You can't let it distract you, because a lot of these things are distractions too. Let's being completely transparent. They're distractions, and I truly believe that they're testing you to see what you're made of. Amit, can you relate to that? And I'm assume that you can, but can you relate to that? Do you have that in your something just not working? You did the things right, you laid it out, you put the planning in place, and for whatever reason, it's not manifesting.
Pretty much on a daily basis. You know,
right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And no joke about that. No, seriously. And I think 100%. And it's and just to be in full transparency, I'm going through some things in my personal life as well with some family folks, and it's tough. It's tough, and you just have to sort of try to roll with the punches and roll with it. But it's I would be lying to say if it wasn't a distraction for me. But at the end of the day, I think go back to what Gerald was saying. It's the only one that can really affect my life is me. You know what I mean? And I try to sort of take it that way, and it's hard to sometimes do that. And the other thing that really gets me that I like is I think Samuel Beckett by Dr. Cornel West, which is try again, fail better. And I like that because we all are trying, right? We're all going to try because you have to try. Right, got to try, and we're all gonna fail.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Cornel West on that one.
Right.
And we're all gonna try. We're all gonna fail. That's fact. And but just fail better. And that's where I kind of beat myself up sometimes is when I don't fail better. That goes to not perfection but progress. And if I'm not making progress, that bugs me. You know what I mean? And that's where I kind of beat myself up sometimes because. You know what I mean? It's anyway. So, it's 100%. But it's just like I said, just knowing that most of the time I'm gonna fail, and I do fail every day. And then it's those gems that come through, or those ones that come through. You know what I mean? And it's even sweeter when you don't expect it, right? That's even sweeter. That's even nicer, right? I would imagine if it's a donor you're trying to reach, or an organization you're trying to reach, or something you're trying to do. And if you don't expect it, and it comes through, that's really nice. But just but just sort of trying to fail better. That's at the end of the day, that's for me, that's what it's all about, because the failure is going to happen. Just try to do it and show progress and do it in a better way. So I can completely relate with what you were saying.
And Amit, I appreciate it. And we've talked about some things as well. And some stuff you just have no control over. In other words, you can't control what other people do. You can't control how other people respond. You can't control what's going to come around the corner sometimes. But to Gerald and your point, you can control yourself. And to bring it back for nonprofits, one of the biggest challenges that we face is that funding, right? But funding is not the problem. It's how we build the relationships and set ourselves up to be in the right place to be able to receive the funding. Now, I'm not saying, because there's some people in this room right now who've done due diligence to prepare their organization tax-wise, who's done marketing, who's done really good positioning, getting earned media, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and it still is not working. But I think, and I use Gerald in this example because I think he has an insatiable thirst for winning, right? Number one. But number two, and not to pick on Gerald, but I think he's a great example. Even if he's struggling, he's still looking towards the light. It's not as if, I give up. And that's something very frankly, very transparently, that I have to continually work on, because I'll go through these phases sometimes and I'll get myself through them. I'm not going to be done. But sometimes, man, looking up at that light be getting kind of old. You're like, I'm getting kind of tired. And I think when you hear Gerald in this platform here, specific, or any platform for that matter of fact, it's like everything's working perfect. Well, it is. Why? Because that's the only way he'll see it. And how can you apply that to your own life? No matter what it looks like, feels like, smells like, sounds like, you only see it working in your capacity. You only see it working in your favor. So I'm saying that to say sometimes a lot of it definitely is perspective. And when you say it's not working right now. Maybe it's something that's not working that's actually shaping you or sculpting you to be the person where it will be working. And I've had to deal with getting over myself with rejection sometimes, whether it's applying for a grant or applying for a job or reaching out to a person and not getting the response you want. You have to deal with rejection. I think that's a big part of it too, because when you get rejection, it starts to feel like, well, damn, am I not good enough? Or is my mission not important enough? And I think it's everything but. Maybe it's not a good fit. Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe you didn't talk to the right person. But you cannot give up because 4 doors, 5 doors, 10 doors got shut in front of you, because there's going to be a door that's going to be open and not only receptive, but looking for you. You're the right person at the right time. Some years ago, probably 15 years ago now, excuse me, apologize. We had, Gerald and I formed a movement called I Am Worthy. And the whole idea was to empower people in general, but specifically women, about being fathers of daughters, about the ideal of worth. So when we talk about some of this stuff here, some of it is based on worth. And I know you may not be, necessarily saying, oh, my nonprofit means I'm not worthy as a person. It can feel that way though. When you keep applying, you keep pushing, and people keep telling you no, and you see other people getting it, it can make you start feeling like, well, damn, is it not important that kids who have cancer need to feel like kids? Is it not important that women who are going through diabetes or dementia or fill in the blank, it is important, but you got to be the ongoing advocate. And just like that disease may not be going anywhere anytime soon, you can't go anywhere anytime soon. And to tie it back to Gerald's point, it's not all about us, right? And that's why we can't drop the ball. That's why we do drop the ball sometimes. But my grandmother used to always tell me, it sounds a little corny here, but I live by it. She said, even if you give in, don't give up. Even if your knees buckle on you sometimes, you still got to get a cane, get a chair. Literally, don't give up. So rounding about that, when you guys think of it, I think it's another component. I just want to segue a little bit here. What about the power of community. Now, I hope that you guys feel like this is a community for you. Do you have a network of community that you can go to when all else fails? Tiffany, I'll pick on you a little bit. I know you do, but I just want you to kind of share, what is the community you lean on when sometimes it feels like the wheels are coming off?
I have people who I trust, who I know I can go to feel safe, and I make sure I remain connected to them. But I also think it's important as a nonprofit founder that you have people who understand your journey, because sometimes people just don't know how deep it is. I mean, maybe like, oh, you'll be all right. Oh, it's just one thing. Sometimes you go to your mom, she's like, it's okay, baby. It's like, no,
Right.
you don't really understand, not getting what I'm saying.
Right. It ain't feeling
So I
okay
do
right
think,
now, right?
right. Like, it's important to have that stability, that kind of stability, but also professionally and what you're doing for your nonprofit, you need people around you who understand exactly where you are, exactly where you've been. And you just need that encouragement to know that you can do this, right? Like, to hear somebody who's been in that position say to you, you can do this. I felt the same way. It's really powerful to be seen, especially when you are unique. You're very unique. You're like a unicorn when you're a startup nonprofit founder. And I think a lot of people don't appreciate that about themselves, right? Like, they don't understand like how powerful they are and what they're doing and how brave they are. So I think community is important, but different types of communities too. So people who know what you're going through can speak to you at that moment too.
That's a good point too, Tiff.
That's why I created my membership community. Let me just say that real quick. Okay?
Say it again.
That's why I created Activate Your Purpose and Profit, really, because I've seen that what I've noticed about founders is that I can teach all day. I love to teach. And I'll tell people certain skills and things they need. But I've noticed that until they really believe they can do it, until they build their confidence up to execute, I could teach all day and it's like falling on deaf ears. And I'll never forget one of my coaches. She comes on my lives a lot and she says, Tiffany, for a year, I waited. I just was listening to your videos and I didn't really get what I was doing. I heard it, but it wasn't sinking in. And then I decided one day, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to work on my nonprofit every day. I'm going to take this seriously. And she signed up for coaching with me. And she said, ever since I did that, everything changed for my nonprofit. I actually launched. She did her first fundraising event. She was able to raise $8,000 from that event. She was like, ever since I decided to take it seriously and invest in myself and get coaching and find my community, it turned everything around for me. So she is like one of my biggest cheerleaders, because she knows that like until she felt that confidence to go out there, she wasn't going to try anything. She wasn't going to do it. But when she had somebody in her ear rooting for her, she then changed everything. So don't forsake like having somebody around you to believe in you and to encourage you. It really does matter.
Well, Tiff, and that was where I was kind of segueing a little bit to go that sometimes you do need you got, like you said, you have different types of community. I have my ride or die. I got my yo G. I need you to bring the 2-2. And I'm being funny, but you got that person ride or die who gonna go out and knuckle up. You got the people you can call and get advisement from. You may have a spiritual community that can say, listen, we need to pray. I want you to look at this scripture or whatever, but it's different levels of community. But it also becomes time when you need professional help outside of your purview, outside of what you're good at. And you do need to hire a person or seek a person, because sometimes you don't have the money to hire. But there are people who can take it to the next level. And I think sometimes we get crippled by the ideal that we don't have enough resources. You'd be shocked how powerful just asking, but it's another part here. Sometimes you got to say it's a hot damn mess. Like Tiffany said, everything's not going to be pretty. And I think I've found in my life, and I'm one of these people too. I hate to share my issues. I hate to feel like I'm burdening someone. I hate to feel like I'm bugging a person. Sometimes you need to break it down and say, no, listen, we not going to be here in 2 months because we don't have the resources. There are people who can say, listen, I've been there. I know what to do. But sometimes our inclination to kind of cover up, to not want to feel embarrassed or not want to feel vulnerable is sometimes the thing that's crippling us from moving forward and getting the help we need. And I think it's something that we have to get it's not easy. Sorry about that. A phone call coming at the same time. I think sometimes we have to get better at being able to express our vulnerability and say, this thing is going on, it's challenging, or I feel overwhelmed. It's not always easy, and I get it, right? It's definitely not always easy, but it's always necessary, because you'll be shocked how many people are going through the same thing you're going through, and they're literally like, damn, I'm about to flip out, or I couldn't cover rent this month. I promise, listen, for a person who's had a business lease of some sort for the last 25 years, there have been times when I've sat in the office or in my space and be like, damn, I don't know how we're going to pay the bills this month. It has happened to me before. And I promise you, if you're a small business owner, most of us know what that experience feels like. But sometimes you got to open your mouth. Sometimes you got to speak up. Amit?
Well, first of all, sorry, my phone my battery was on zero. I didn't realize it. I fell off a few minutes ago. Sorry about that. But I'll just say one thing, and this is anecdotal. As I'm talking to business people, I talk to everybody's not-for-profit, for-profit, everybody.
Right, absolutely.
As we all do, right? And as a part of my for-profit business, it's interesting. There's just been a lot of we're kind of going through a weird time, I think. Economically, things look really good. The markets are roaring, also, but there's a lot of people that are hurting from inflation and those sorts of things. And there's definitely a post-COVID sort of lull, I think. I've seen that in a lot of places, you know what I mean? Businesses, because the COVID money kind of got us through. There was some hope on some things. So I was going to say, if people are struggling, we're all struggling, including myself, all of us. It's not because of us. It's because of, I think it's just, we're in an interesting time economically and just where we are in the country, I think, you know what I mean? So I was just talking about this with one of my friends the other day. So it's funny that we're talking about it now. So there's a lot of things going on, I think, you know what I mean? And so I just want to remind people, or a reminder, just reiterate to people that, these are not easy times, although it appears to be easy many times, but it's not, especially economically, you know what I mean? And so I just want to say that I think it's important to sort of think about that. So anyways, and then Mike, but don't you always say that I gotta call you out of this one, man? Don't you always say make your message?
Absolutely, 100%.
Don't you always say that? So
100%.
So why you? Okay, so you were just saying that you don't sometimes the people don't want to sort of air some things or whatever,
right?
Maybe, and obviously there's personal things. I get that. Nobody has to completely. Have to talk about everything, but I think going back to what you always say it, make your message. I think that has saved me so many times.
Absolutely,
and I really believe in that. So I would encourage people to think about that as you're, talking about things or relating stories or whatever, because that's a powerful thing.
So Amit, you hit it right on the head. So you guys just don't realize how many Saturday mornings that we come here to share information, but you guys are my accountability partners. As I'm laughing a little bit, but you just dropped on me literally, Gerald and you, make your message. It's not all about you. And it may sound lighthearted. You don't realize how powerful it is to hear it back sometimes. Sometimes you got to know that people are listening, right? People are paying attention. Yeah, that's just my thing. That's kind of my catchphrase. No, it's not just a catchphrase. Gerald just saying it's not all about you. I damn need to hear that this morning. You saying make your message. I need to hear that this morning. So I imagine if I need to hear it and I say it, then there are other people under the sound of my voice and in our space who may not today, because these are recorded, right? It may be someone in 5 months or 2 weeks who may need to hear that. Make your message. And I promise you, there is no more powerful marketing approach, strategy, or otherwise than authenticity. And sometimes you literally saying, listen, I need some support. I am growing. Those things can resonate with people because we've all been through it. We've all gone through something where you're like, damn, is it just me? Amit, you just saying that, your transparency of just saying that we're all kind of, or most of us are experiencing a post-COVID lull. COVID made people think that money was growing on trees. Let's just keep it real for a second. It felt like, damn it, we gonna be good. Look, Jesse gonna win. But it's not that. And I again, I want to sound negative, but I don't know in my lifetime, I probably in my lifetime, never going to see the access of resources. They actually call it the biggest wealth transfer in American history. And you can say there's some cost to it by all means. So I'm not trying to dismiss that, but it's more probably than not never coming back that way. So we got to be able to adapt, you guys. And to go to Tiffany Jones' point, you got to be able to assess. I want to just reiterate a few things before we get off here. We're on our 1 hour format now, so just adjust a little bit. A couple things that came out today that I definitely want to share because I think they were worthwhile and they were very powerful. So I heard to acknowledge, Gerald made a great point, not to take it personal. I don't know if it was Tiffany or Lisa who said write it out. Writing it out is very powerful. To actually put it on paper or nowadays put it on digital, to always strive to be the best version of yourself, regardless of what the situation looks like, regardless of the thing that didn't happen. If you fall 5 times, get up 6. I promise you, you are not by yourself. And I think as we close this topic up here, avoid isolating yourself during stressful times. I am a person that sometimes I like to huddle. And I don't mean that you can't ever take some time to yourself, but be very mindful if you start isolating yourself during going through stress, because it will start to get worse, right? You'll start to see more stress as you isolate. And I always tell this little corny story, and I give Gerald credit for it, as I do on a lot of stuff. I was going through licking my wounds it had to be about 15 years ago. And I was going through, and he was like, come on. He came up to New York. He was like, come on, I want you to go with me somewhere. No, I was like, Gerald, I don't want to go. I don't feel like going to play. He was like, man, cut the BS and come on, bring your camera. And I promise you, I was really in my feelings about some stuff I was going through business-wise. And him just kind of forcing my hand to kind of get out of my feelings and come on was a game changer for me, because it made me show up. And I promise you, if you don't show up, nothing else can work. You got to show up to show out. So before we close out, let's do a quick around the room. I appreciate you guys. You guys always come with the fire. Lisa, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to emphasize the importance of just knowing when to take a break and also when to pivot, and also writing down your goals and just making a little action plan to achieve those goals whenever possible. Have a great weekend and see you next week.
Amit, let's go around the room.
2 things real quick. One, I would completely agree with what you just said. I think getting out, meeting people in person, you can do Zoom. I use Zoom, but I've always been saying, go out, break bread with people, hang out with people. It's hard to do sometimes when things might not be going your way, but trust me, that makes the difference. And we're sociable people, all of us, the humanity. So, please do that. And then I'll just go back to Samuel Beckett by Dr. Cornel West, which is try again, fail better. I think that I'll leave you with that, and have a good weekend. I'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Tiff, any final thoughts?
Just don't isolate yourself. You do need people. The worst thing you could do when you're going through is go somewhere off to yourself. Sometimes you need that to recharge, but don't stay there too long.
Absolutely. It's true. And Mr. Moore.
My father said something to me when I was about 10 or 11 years old, which has translated into business. He said, hit them before they hit you and keep punching.
Say it one more time, Gerald.
Hit them before they hit you and keep punching.
Good stuff. I love it. And Jessica, any final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thoughts are to lean into where you may be self-judging a little too much, and have some self-empathy with your growing stages, and keep track of your successes just as much as you keep track of your failures.
I love that one too. I think we keep this list of what's not done, but not often do we keep a list of what we actually accomplished. I think that's really good stuff. Facing challenges as a nonprofit leader requires not just passion, but also courage to seek the strength in unity. Remember, in a symphony of change, every voice matters, and together we create a melody stronger than any solo effort. So as much as it may feel like you need to go on the island or you got to pull back, I promise sometimes just showing up, the right person with the right answer is waiting for you, but you don't know if you don't show. Sometimes I use a quote from Jack Canfield: ready, fire, aim. Do not wait for the perfect situation to take your shot. Take the shot and miss. And as Amit said, fail better the next time. Shoot better and recalibrate. You guys have an amazing weekend. We will see you next week. And no matter what it looks like, feels like, or sounds like, you are worthy and it's going to work out. We appreciate you guys. Have a blessed one. I'll see you next time. Next Saturday, 11 a.m.
Have a good week.